This is the most germ-infested stone in the entire world, and I'm gonna kiss it so I can get the gift of gab. That's why I traveled to this castle in the middle of nowhere in Ireland to kiss the most visited and touristy stone in the entire planet. Now, the gift of gab is supposed to give you the ability to speak easily and confidently, but is it worth it? Because over 300,000 people kiss this every year.
Big old stone, you're supposed to go kiss it and have good luck the rest of your life.
So every tourist kisses the same part of the same stone, but the stone is actually wrapped around the side of the castle like this. And in the old days, they used to hang people by their legs to kiss it. So when you're walking towards the castle, the first thing you're gonna notice is how tall this thing is. It's 90 feet, so if you're scared of heights, it's going to intimidate you for sure. Once you get to the base of the castle, you notice that it says it is arduous to get up to the top of the castle, so it's not for the faint of heart. Let's go in this cave and see what's in here. Okay, that is disgusting. Let's get out of there. Okay, there's another little cave. We're gonna skip that part. Now, going in the wintertime is really nice because there are no lines.
I don't think it's gonna be 60 minutes.
In fact, I had picked the most dreary day to go, and there was absolutely nobody else in this castle. It was just me. Now, couldn't help but notice the queue and the lines. It must have taken hours and hours and hours of just standing in this old, creepy castle. But luckily for me, I was able to meander and take all the time and take pictures and videos and just take my time because I was the only one here and there's nobody else. Now, this is Earl's room. I just wanted to check out the view. It is a very dreary and boring view from this guy's room. I feel bad for Earl. Now, out this window, you can see the outer wall, and like most medieval castles, the outer walls are always shrunken over time, and this is the last remaining part. And this was the last remaining part of the outer wall of the castle. Okay, you can guess what goes on in this room. We'll skip that. Now, these staircases, I don't know how they made these back in the day. They just twist up and up and up. They have no support. I don't know how they were made back in the medieval ages. Now, the origins of the stone is unknown, but there's some debate. Some people say it was originally a stone from Jacob from the book of Genesis, though, that was brought to Ireland by the prophet Jeremiah. Some people even think that the Blarney Stone is the same stone that Moses struck to free the slaves from Egypt. I don't know about that, but now when I looked up, I saw the only other person in this castle, which was the guy who was gonna help me bend over and kiss the stone. But do I really want to kiss it? I'm just thinking in my head, how many people have kissed this stone over the ages? I mean, this thing is like hundreds and hundreds of years old. And look, this person got COVID during this. Maybe they caught it from the stone. 300,000 people per year kiss it times X amount of years. That's like millions of people that have kissed this stone. And what did they do during COVID? Did they even clean it? I guess none of this really matters because I am here to kiss this stone, and I am not going to not kiss this stone. That when I got to the top, the guy said that about 75% of the people do kiss the stone, about 25% of the people pass it. And for me, there was 100% chance that I was going to kiss the stone. I wasn't going to come all this way and not kiss the stone. Now, when you get to the top, do not look down if you're scared of heights. It's going to intimidate you like crazy because you are almost 100 feet up in the air. And today, I was the only person up here. Probably it doesn't happen more than a couple times a year where you're the only person up here to kiss the stone. All right, first thing they do is they ask you, are you going to kiss the stone? Do a lot of people not want to kiss it?
Most people do.
Now, this is the part that everybody gets freaked out about.
I've got you.
Because you're not only upside down, you're really upside down. But I was more worried about the guy holding the camera horizontally so I could use this for YouTube than it vertically like everybody else does. Legend has it, I now have the gift of gab. I can speak eloquently and I can speak... Okay, so obviously it's not working very well.
So the stone is the bottom part, right? It's not the top part.
I can speak eloquently the rest of my life, which should actually help me a lot in what I do because for a living, I actually talk for a living, so that'll be really good. Now, when you take a look down here, this is the old living room. I guess this is kind of like the courtyard living room. And even though the weather was really crummy, I was able to get a really good view. It was super high up. I'm sure they could have seen intruders come from miles because you were 90 feet up. You could see the entire valley from up here. I can't imagine how long it took to build this thing because there's so many stones and these things are super heavy. It must have taken centuries to make this thing. And the fact that it is still up and standing today, I do not know how it's reinforced because these staircases, I don't know how they made these back in the day. Okay, so now I'm going to bring you to a room where you're going to have to use your imagination because I'm not going to describe it for you. But there's this little hole that they put something down, and I guess it just dropped down to the ground. It's kind of medieval, you know what. And this room they had, it was like a singing room or something for girls. I showed this to my teenage daughter. She actually didn't think it was very cool. One of the things about these historic sites is always interesting to me is the amount of vandalism and the amount of people that like kind of carve their names into the rock. Like, When you get older, do you think that carving your name in the rock is actually going to be a cool thing? Like when you're 80 and you see your name carved in the rock, are you going to be proud of that? I don't think so. Okay, the next up is the murder hole. The murder hole is actually where they used to pour like gases and fire and stones and swords and stuff on people. They used to drop things on people. It was a deterrent because to get into the castle, it was a very narrow opening into the main gate, and they used to just pour stuff on people and set it on fire as a deterrent. Again, it was super cool to be the only person in the castle. I can't imagine the lines in the summer, but I just wanted to show you how much it was raining and how nasty the weather was, which was a perfect day, in my opinion, to come to the castle. Now, after you go to the gift shop, you buy some souvenirs, I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the castle. Okay, so the story goes back in the day, this witch was drowning, and this king saved this witch from drowning. So as a gift in return, she told the king to kiss the Blarney Stone, and in kissing that, he was given the gift of gab. And now you can get the gift of gab if you kiss it, but you don't have to hang by your legs anymore. You get to just hang upside down with bars. Now the Blarney Stone is the #1 attraction of the entire site, but the castle's pretty cool. And then they have the Blarney Mansion here, which was private, so I couldn't go in it and couldn't really see it. Really kind of defeats the purpose. And then there's this tree that everybody jumps on, so of course you have to jump on it too. I'm 6'2", so it's actually, you can see it's a really, really big tree. And then I want to talk a little bit about the driving. If you're going to drive in Ireland, be prepared for really tight quarters, especially if you're driving on the opposite side of the street. If the steering wheel's on the opposite side, it's a little bit intimidating. I would take your time to learn how to drive. And in this case, driving in Cork, Ireland, which was the nearest town to the Blarney Castle, was actually super confusing because you were always driving in and out. You never knew what street was which. You didn't know if it was a one-way street. You didn't know if you could be driving on that street. Google Maps helped me a bunch, but it was kind of intimidating. I just wanted to highlight that a little bit in the travel. And a little bit about Cork itself. Cork is an interesting city. There was a lot of different things that you could see. It was kind of a dreary day, but this was a really cool site that I saw because you could go up here and you could see really, really good views of the city from up at top of this. This was Elizabeth's fort inside the city. What was really cool is that it was free. So you could just walk up and see the sites. You didn't have to pay anything. It was a really cool site in Cork. And I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but if you're in the Blarney Stone at the Blarney Castle, you're probably staying in Cork, so you get to see the same sites that I did. And lastly, I just wanted to highlight, I wasn't able to get into my parking spot here because I was parked in so tight that you could barely squeeze in, which is just different than driving in the States where you're used to big highways and wide highways. Anyway, hope you like this video.
Well, they're on vacation in Ireland. We got on one of them old fart tours where you go around and see all the sights. We're going to see something called the Blarney Stone. Big old stone, you're supposed to go kiss it and have good luck the rest of your life.